more quick video. What's up? This is Tom Burkart in the INFINITI Q50S Hybrid in Amelia Island for RM Auctions 2014 concours. And so let's just... so one of the best traits that an all-wheel drive sedan has versus a rear-wheel drive or front drive sedan is the ability to do what we just did, which is floor it around a right-hand corner, which is really, really important for a lot of real-world scenarios. You know, pulling out of anywhere onto onto a big highway. If you're driving a two-wheel drive machine, even if it has a lot of composure, it's not as secure, and you aren't like I'd never done that before in this Q50S. I think I scared old Jeff here, but you know, when that is a really good trait for all-wheel drive sedans, and also shows one of the great features of this Q50S Hybrid, which is its huge torque. So we're just plopping it into second gear now, and then we're gonna hit it. So that feels good. This is a great new 7-speed automatic that Infiniti is using. So it's leaving me in manual mode, which is great. It has sort of like a dynamic efficiency gauge. It doesn't have any numbers, but it lets you know sort of how you're doing, which is always a great feature of the old BMWs with that swinging efficiency gauge. Even like the old 318 from the 80s had it, and it's good. It shows you in real time how your driving is doing. So I like this Q50S so far. It's got this, something we mentioned in the last video, the steering is like supernatural. So we've got, that's really responsive, and that's what that means is that the car is going to be really obedient. But of course, as you pick up speed, or if you change the settings, you can have much more sneezability, which is like you can be going down the highway and the car is not going to be doing things. This car also has dead accurate tracking, a great driving position, of course, good steering wheel, really big paddles. Clearly input from Sebastian Vettel, perhaps, because if the paddles aren't big, you can't find them when you're like going around corners really fast. So the throttle response seems good. It sounded pretty good. It definitely roared up, and I didn't feel I didn't hear any kind of like electric whirring, which is nice. And but overall, this car rides like a dream, and is really, really pleasant so far. I'm really impressed. It has incredible refinement, which is one of the major selling features of a hybrid, which you sort of wonder, like, why would rich people even want a hybrid? They're happy spending like $200 on a Chevy Suburban's gas tank, but the real benefit is not necessarily in fuel economy or sort of like showing that you're eco-conscious these days. It's more about like smoothness and the ability to to maximize performance, which is clearly Infiniti's goal for this. So I don't want to get us in trouble, but I do want to hit the gas a little bit more. We'll see. Alright. So in full automatic mode, it obviously was able to kick down to first and really shoot us out of there pretty quickly. Seats feel good, brakes feel good. The brakes are really, really, really firm, like a good luxury car should be, but without sort of like the grabbiness that comes from a lot of regenerative systems. I'm really like almost most stunned by the steering, which I love. It's like it's really light when we're doing just like these little things, but it's really meaty and weights up. It feels good. They obviously worked really, really hard on the steering to make sure that it didn't have any of those worries about it being like a first generation system. And of course, the goal of this steering eventually is like, if you have steer-by-wire, well, first off, steer-by-wire is mandatory for any kind of like actual automated driving, because you can have things that are like lane keeping assist, but that's actually done with like stability control, where it'll break a wheel, like one side to keep the car in a lane. So that's not active steering. Whereas this car in the future could, in theory, drive you around a corner that it's never been on before. So that's really good, and Amelia Island's great. It's freezing, everyone's bitching, but I'm like a kid in a candy store, and stuff hasn't even begun yet. So you should definitely check out the INFINITI Q50S or any INFINITI Q50, because they all have a very they've been aiming for this specific driving experience, which I would be very surprised if it wasn't shared across every single model in the line, be it like gasoline, all-wheel drive, or hybrid rear-wheel drive, or hybrid all-wheel drive. I think that what they're going for is this, you know, the best BMW 535 type experience, which is a real promising trait for Infiniti, particularly as the new the Eau Rouge concept indicates. They might not just be going for the 535, but the M5 as well. So that's a big goal. I mean, that's pretty lofty, because even the, are we going left? Is this us? Okay. So even, you know, we mentioned Cadillac earlier, but you know, the Cadillac CTS-V obviously had the power to take on the M5 in its last version, and it might have even had like the raw track pace, but
you can interrupt voice using the command immediately by pushing the talk switch. You can
so that was pretty cool. I like that. So that felt good. But you know, so all of these traits are going to be extremely important, because you can't just go after the M5 with a huge engine in your sedan, because the M5 is much more car than that. And Infiniti gets that. So you better watch out, BMW M5. We're coming for you. All right, thanks a lot. This has been Car Updates Daily with Tom Burkart. Have a good day.